previously already discussed. We've already talked about a exponential function, right? So in this case, the main important thing, just like you want to do for everything else, first thing you want to do is read through the problem. I automatically see this compounded continuously. I automatically know I need to use this formula. Underline it, whatever else you want to do. You can also go through all the other pieces of information, right? Say, OK, here's all the things I need. So let's go and rewrite all. Let's determine what each and every one of these values represent. E, remember, is our constant. So A is going to be the amount in your bank, the amount of money available after 4 years. Because just like over there, the A of t, your A represents the final value. P, the reason why we call it P is because it represents the principal, which is the initial amount. But when we're talking about money, the initial amount can also be referenced as principal. That's why we use P. And we know what the initial amount was, right? $3,000. R represents the interest rate that you're earning, which is going to be in decimal point 0.05. And then T is going to be the time in T is going to be your time in years, which here in this is going to be 4. So therefore, all you do now is just take your equation, A equals 3,000 times E raised to the 0.05 times 4. Now, how do you do this mathematically? OK. First thing I would do, PEMDAS. Is there any parentheses inside the parentheses that I can do any mathematical operations? OK, next thing is exponents. Is there any operations as a power that I can do exponents? Yeah, we can simplify this, right? So let's do 0.05 times 4. That gives me 0.2. So I have A equals 3,000 times e to the 0.2. Now can I raise e to the 0.2? So I do e raised to the 0.2 power. And I get 1.221402.758. Rather than writing down that problem, all I'm simply going to do is I'm going to take 3,000 and multiply it by my answer in my calculator. So in your calculator, especially if you have a scientific or a graphing calculator, if you don't, you would have to write down the whole answer, especially like on the EOC, you won't have like this whole thing. So you'd want to use the whole answer. So what I'll do is take $3,000, and I'll say times, and then a lot of you have an answer button on your calculator. You just hit $3,000 times your last answer. That's going to type in the whole answer for you. So A equals $3,664.21. Cents for dollars and cents, we need to round to the nearest hundredth. Yes? I don't think it's better. Is it important? It's not. I'm just saying a lot of students will make mistakes. No, what do you mean? You did PEMDAS. Of course you did. What do you mean? You got the same answer? You followed the order of operations. You just plugged it in. Yeah, your calculator's doing PEMDAS for you if you plugged it in. Yeah, the calculator did PEMDAS for you. I'm just saying the main mistake I see students make is when they don't follow the rules of operations, OK, or order of operations. So let's see. How much money did you make? You made $664. Yes, Josh.
Why would it go up? Because you can't make money that you don't have. Why would you round up?
Well, you could. I'm just rounding. I mean, basically, this would be money that would be like in a bank account. And yes, probably a bank would round down, saying that you didn't earn that much money until that's your exact amount. But I mean, technically, you have an 8/10 of a cent. So for rounding purposes, I would round it up. But it's not like it's an animal where you can, if you have 1/4 of an animal, you have a whole animal. Or if you have 3/4 of an animal, you have a whole animal. Yeah, I mean, I could see your point. I mean, you're not actually, banks would not round the pennies, right? If you don't have a whole cent, they're not going to give you a cent, right? So I could see your point for that. So you could keep it as a non-rounding example. For this one, I would just say round to the nearest hundred. I would tell you round to the nearest cent or something like that would be more descriptive. OK, yes?
Does it matter if your calculator's off? Because I got
0.20 is point and 0.2 are the exact same. Okay. All right.